Do you really understand your Scout membership? Hey, ScouterStan, let's talk a little bit about your scouting membership. Now, not everyone is a member of, say, a troop as far as scout membership. That can be with the council. It can also be with the district. So it really depends on where you are in scouting. Now, most of scouts and scouters are registered with a unit, whether it be a pack, a troop, crew, even a post. So a ship, whatever kind of unit there is. That's where most scouters and scouts are registered. The membership itself with scouts is the main subject that we need to have a great understanding. Even if you're not with a unit, you're still registered in scouting. That is a critical thing to think about. No matter where you are in that scouting relationship between unit or district or council. Now, understanding that there is a base membership cost, from that, the council that you're with may have additional fees. This is for activities and for things that they're doing that might be part of your membership fees or costs. That is very important to understand. Your membership with scouting is the first part. That's the first part. For many years, scouting always went like an annual kind of a thing, and it would go from wherever for instance, if you joined in, say, the last 3 months of the year, they would prorate the fee for scouting. They would prorate it out for each month. They don't do that anymore. What they're doing is an annual thing. That was very hard for a lot of units to understand. There was a lot of confusion, especially when we did back with the packs or an recruitment night or something of that nature. It was very confusing. They thought that was the cost every year, but it's actually a prorated cost for several months for the end of the year. So, and then the recharter came along, and it made a lot of people kind of leery of that, and it put everybody on that same annual process. That made it very confusing. So no matter when you join scouting now, that's your date. It's one calendar year. They don't prorate it out anymore or anything like that. It's one entire period of time. And that being the case, a lot of that's going to be electronic. So you have to understand that membership in scouting is based on a 12-month period, a year, from whenever you joined. And that just renews every time you renew your membership. That's a huge thing. The extra fees with the council might be things like camping trips or helping camp, or different friends of scouting maybe might be included in there. There's a bunch of little things they can put all together as a package that's very appealing, because you can actually do a lot of things with just what the council has put together plus your membership. That's what's kind of neat about that. Now, not only do you have the annual membership, you also have your council fees that they also include. You may have unit fees, and that can vary depending on the unit. A common cost would be, of course, the unit numbered patch, the neckerchief, the book that goes along with the program. Depending on what kind of unit you're getting into will depend on what those costs are. That might be included in the unit fee. There may also be camping and registration fees. There might be activities that the unit does that's unique, and that is very important to understand when joining a particular unit. Now, there are some units that have a great deal of equipment. But that may change. And sometimes they have impact costs. And the reason they have that impact cost is to increase the equipment level of the unit. Say, for instance, you're going from Cub Scouts into a troop, and it's 20 or 30 new scouts going in. That is a huge amount of burden to the troop. So the troop has a certain amount of equipment. They need to expand that, and that's the key. If you're in that unit has to be able to get enough tents, enough dining flies and equipment, and of course the camping gear that would be unit based. That's an impact. So that impact fee may also be included. Now usually it's prorated out to everybody. So that way it's not a huge burden, but it is something that the unit has to consider. Now in some packs, they might include all the awards, all the patches and belt loops and all the stuff that goes along with being in a pack. It may also include some of the kits. Say for instance, Pinewood Derby. Pinewood Derby is a huge thing in Cubs, and having that Pinewood Derby kit given to the scout is not really given. It's purchased through the membership fees for the unit. Now this may also include things like the rain gutter regatta, little boat that goes through the rain gutter. These are all races that happen, but you need to have the boat, the actual frame or the actual car to do the race in whatever situation you're doing with Cub Scouts, and that's all part of it. Now some units will even go as far as adding on some additional fees that they would like to accumulate for things like outreach for summer camp. There are scouts in the unit that are financially challenged, and they need that additional funding to kind of help those scouts afford their great summer camp. They might even put money aside for all kinds of things, like different training, sending the senior patrol leader to National Youth Leadership Training. That's a great thing to send a senior patrol leader to. Or sending some of the assistant scoutmasters to Wood Badge. So these are additional small amounts that are collected over the group with the fees involved with the group to help all of that training and everything, all those expenses be covered. Now with all that being understood, some units go as far as doing a pay-as-you-go. It's all, if you do it, then you pay for it. So that's the kind of thing they can do easily. So that's something you need to check into when joining a unit, so that you understand where all these fees and things are going to. There's a lot of great intentions there, but you have to understand what is going on there. Now, in addition to that, all units are encouraged to do fundraising. That is huge, okay? The council will often set up things like popcorn or camp cards or stuff like that to help supply funds for all of the activities that can go on. Now, before we go any further, I do want to invite you to our monthly meeting. It's on the first Sunday of each month, and it's at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So you're more than welcome to join us and ask questions and just have fun. You know, that's one of those wonderful things about that meeting. I also want to thank everybody on Patreon for their continued support of our channel. And our channel members. You can be a channel member. You hit the join button and join up. There's all kinds of badges and emojis and different things. They even get the videos exclusively for themselves, ad-free, which is an added bonus. And then, of course, if you don't want to join in and do a monthly donation, you could always do a one-time donation by hitting the thanks button. So get involved. I really do appreciate all that you do in scouting and here on the channel. Now, in scouting, those three things about the fees, where you have the national fees for being in scouting, membership fees. Then you have your council fees, and then your unit fees. So those are three big things that you have to think about if you were to leave a unit. If you were in a pack and you moved to another state, and you're still a member until that expires with national. You're still a Cub Scout with national. You've got your membership fee in there. So it's a matter of finding a Cub Scout den and joining that pack and getting all that transferred. So that's one of those things. Now that unit that you used to be in, they had money set aside for future activities. They should have some funds that they could transfer with the scout. So make sure before you move out of a unit that that's done, that can be arranged. Okay, so they might take a little bit of time. So being courteous and kind, let's let the committee know ahead of time that they need to move that funding with that scout if they're in another state or they move across town. So that's the nice thing. Your membership goes until it expires with scouting. Now, that is something to keep in mind. In addition to that, you also have the possibility of being in another unit. Say, for instance, you're in a Scouts BSA troop, and for an interesting reason, you want to also, the scout wants to be in a crew, a venture crew. That is possible. You're a member of scouting. That's first, okay? The council that unit is in, they've already got their fees. The units is the only thing that you don't have to worry about because you can be with multiple units. This is a big thing for a lot of scouts. The older scouts, they may want to get with a crew that's going overseas to an event, maybe the World Jamboree or something. That's something that's very exciting. That crew will have fees, and they should be structured a lot like the unit you're with. So in that situation, there are all kinds of different things they could do. There are scouts that are in a Scouts BSA that want to do Sea Scouts. So they can do both. There's nothing wrong with that. That's multiple registration, okay? Being registered with National, your council, and then the different units. So the different units are the cost. That's what increases some of the cost. So it's not, you don't have to have one membership with the National, Council, and unit. You don't have to have that. You can have, National, and of course the council has already been taken care of because both units are in that same council, so no problem. So that's the thing. You have to think of those three different departments in regards to understanding your membership. That is so critical, and a lot of scouts do that. There's no additional fees, for registering with another unit. Okay, that's the thing. You can be with multiple units. There are some problems if you want to be with the same type of unit. So, for instance, if you're with two different troops, that makes it crazy as far as advancement. Which troop did you earn what at? I mean, so it's best to stay with the same type of unit. So if you're with a Scouts BSA troop, stay with that troop or move to another troop. I often, in fact, I'm going to do this up there. That is, don't quit, upgrade. That is so amazing. You can do this. If something is not working out in your unit, you can move to another unit. That's the cool thing about membership. You can move your membership. You can take all your records and whatever funding is still there, if it's available, can be moved over to another unit. So instead of quitting, there's no need to quit scouting. You just move to another unit. Not every unit's going to be the same. So check out that video, and it will tell you about how to upgrade. It's a great video, I might say. Of course, the guy in the video, not so much. But that is one of those things. Now, finally, we have to think about the unit. When the unit recharters, it has always been annually. It's usually near the end of the year. It's usually done, the paperwork is usually done in November, so that December they can finish up all the paperwork, and then the new year starts, of course, January 1st. So for the unit, that's still going to be on that type of system, an annual system. That is between the chartered organization and council, and of course your district is involved and all of those things, but it will be on an annual basis. Now, most of us in scouting don't have to worry about that because we're doing all our things with the unit, right? So that's really the committee and the people that are involved with recharter of the organization, of the actual unit. That's their department. So as long as your membership fees are paid nationally, you're a scout, okay? And make sure that you pay the fees for whatever council you're in, and then make sure you got your unit fees taken care of. Those are the three big groups, and they can work things out, and you can fundraise. So that's totally great. And there's so many things in scouting that we do, and I'm so proud of you. You do so much work for your scouts. We are building a better tomorrow because scouting does that. That's what we do. And it is super critical that you understand that I appreciate what you do in scouting. You know, in scouting, we do an awful lot of work for our scouts, and that is a very good thing because we're creating a better future. So keep up that good hard work. I'm going to put a link up over here. That's Don't Quit Scouting Upgrade. That's a great video. Until next time, I'll see you on the trail.